So welcome, you've made it through with me, all 4 videos. Well, this is the 4th one. Intended to be a 3-part series, but it happened to be 4, and that's okay. All the other videos, there are links below, and these are the 8 principles that support you in resolving conflict in your relationship. And the last principle is, once you've done the inner work and you've come back to yourself and you've paused and you've got more clarity, how do you come back with your beloved and have that courageous conversation? How do you do that? Well, the first thing is with intention. You set aside the time. Okay, you set aside an uninterrupted piece of time, just a space where it's just going to be the 2 of you, where you can create a sense of containment and safety. Uninterrupted, okay? So kids taken care of, cell phones off, no TV on, just the 2 of you in the space of coming together. It's really important that there's a sense of safety, a containment, and that there is presence. Then I like to begin the interaction with just having 3 appreciations. Okay, that each one has a turn to say, okay, 3 things that I appreciate about you. And each of you has a turn to share that. It just helps to just soften the edges a little bit. We might come in feeling very hostile and, closed. And the 3 appreciations just help to soften and open the heart a little bit. And then to get clear of, your intention. That we've come here with the intention of resolving this matter between us. And then there's various tools. There are so many different tools out there that can, work in having courageous conversations. There's a lot around conscious communication. There's a lot out there. So find what works for you. For myself, in my experience, I have used one of the NVC tools from Marshall Rosenberg. That's just a very simple 4-step process where I say, when this happens, okay, and the fact only, okay, when we have an argument and you slam the door and walk out, just the fact of what happened. We had an argument, you slammed the door, you walked out, okay, not my, what I think about it or a judgment or blaming, no, just the facts. When the facts happen, just the facts, okay? And that takes quite a lot of awareness because we tend to slip in that judgment, that criticism, the interpretation, the assumption, the projection, okay? When the facts happen, this is how I feel. I feel angry, I feel neglected, I feel abandoned. My request, okay, not a demand, not a you have to, you need to, you should, a request. My request is that when we have an upset, my request is that we take some time out to calm down and that we just let each other know. And my need is for connection and for understanding. So when the facts happen, this is how I feel. This is my need. Sorry, the need comes first. This is my need. This is my request, okay? So last time, when this and this happens, the facts, this is how I feel, not you, how I feel. I'm owning my feelings. This is my need. This is my request. So that very simple NVC practice helps me own my feelings, stops me from blaming, from criticizing or judging. I start to get in touch with what my needs are because often we have no idea what our needs are. And then I can make a request. This is actually what I'm needing or asking. And, it's a conversation. So it's not like, okay, there we go, here's my piece of paper, cheers. No, we have to discuss it. That's one tool. The other tool is just for example, having 5 minutes each, okay? So you've got 5 minutes to talk. We can put a timer on. I do not interrupt you while you share, okay? I leave you talk for 5 minutes. I might say, what I'm hearing you say is that such and such and such. Is that correct? Yes, okay. Well, tell me more. That's another way. When I'm hearing you say this, just reflecting back, is that correct? So just check in and then say, okay, would you like to tell me more? That's another tool. And the reason why we want to interrupt, why it is so difficult to not interrupt, is because there's uncomfortable feelings that we don't want to feel. And so we want to just like blurt it out, because actually there's so much discomfort in my body, anger, frustration, irritation. So breathing and just being with all that's coming up with me is very, very helpful in courageous conversations. Deep breathing, coming back, maybe putting a hand on my belly so that I can stay connected to myself. And breathing really, really helps. Okay, but that's why we want to interrupt often, is because there's so much uncomfort or discomfort in us, uncomfortable feelings that we don't want to be with. And so these are just a few tools I've given you, okay? There are many, many tools of having conscious conversations, and you'll find your own way. And at the end, I like to just have some gratitude or some appreciation. You know, or, I'm so grateful that we've had this conversation, even if we didn't come to a resolution, but maybe there's more understanding. And the last thing I want to say is that curiosity and compassion are really helpful. Curiosity, I think curiosity is a superpower with awareness. I think those two are superpowers, and breath, by the way. But curiosity, to get really curious. You know, my love, I'm really curious to know, why is it that you did that thing when I said that? I'm really curious, sincerely, like really with sincerity. I'm really curious to know, how come does that happen for you when the situation arises? I'm really curious. I'd like to know. And curiosity and compassion are amazing in conflict resolution, because curiosity opens up possibilities, because so much we assume about the other. We already know it, we know them, we assume, and actually we don't. Because everybody does and says things for a reason. We all do things for a reason, we say things for a reason, and if we take the time and get really curious about that reason, we often will be really surprised, because it's often not what we think it is. And there's more possibility for compassion. So this is the end of the video series on conflict resolution. If you have any comments or questions, you're so welcome to email me. My email is down below. I'd love your feedback, I'd love your questions. And yeah, just to say, my name is Julia, I'm a life coach, and I really am fascinated, and I love the journey of relating, of life, of our inner world, because I've come to understand that really when we come back to just me and come inside with curiosity, with compassion, do the inquiry, get to know myself, then, and it's not from an obsessive point of view, I'm not coming from that, it's a real genuine interest and love of self, then I'm able to be so much more present in my life, in my relationships, in the work that I do, because there's a greater sense of wholeness. More is possible. There's more space for the true essence of my being to come through and live through this one. So blessings to you on your journey. It's been wonderful journeying with you, and I wish you relationships, whatever relationships there are, may they be portals of deep joy, deep intimacy, deep connection, growth, fun, and may it really serve the healing and the awakening of our hearts and minds for us, and for all beings everywhere, because ultimately life is relationship. Blessings to you.